The helicopter came back and it came with food this time. But to collect, we all have to have ID and the TRN. However, I don't know where's my ID, and I hear a lot of people complaining that they don't know where is theirs. I'm currently searching the house to find it. I don't know where am I. I don't know where to find it. From the storm, I haven't seen my ID. So I have a picture. Hopefully it can work. I don't know. We're in a fall, and if you see the amount of people outside in the rain trying to get aid right now, and I'm wet, wet till water drip. Rain fall right now as me speaking, it not fall hard. I find the paper where this is my old driver's license. Hopefully this can work. Alright, me a walk with. Alright, so the line I go line up tonight, you know. We don't have a proper ID in our TRN, but we still do it, you know. That's the thing, so. At a copter, land up on the front out there, so. The phone all of them. I never think no time in my life would I ever see something like this. So it seems, and everybody go and get package. Me, they must say a 65 package for and about 50 issue out already. And the line they are still long. Alright, so the food done and then top take sign up. So we don't know when they're gonna come again. But this is something drop off out of the copter when it's a fly away back. So me and one of my friend I walk and look feet, see where the power open land one come on. I look for see but we don't find it. So I look where me are there. I'm not even gonna stop back in the crowd because they say the food is done, but there's a lot of crowd still there. I stood in the line for about an hour and a half, and you know, nothing. So I go still, some of the people I might get through actually did more in need than me, and then give the elders them priority, and I really like that as well, because we as the stronger person, we can step out and make it work. Water and food. They also came in the village and they went around and they cut down a few trees from some fence of some houses and in the community overall. And we want to say thanks for the help.
We can't carry this on forever or for too long. At some point we will transition to a voucher or a coupon system where instead of carrying the bag of relief items, you will get something that is equivalent to cash, and you can go to your nearest shop in your area where we will stock and supply them, and you get your items.
Jamaica, the minister knows it's all about control. The man are telling about voucher system. The man knows that whoever control the food, control the people. Vulture system, already them ready to fly down pan we know about voucher system. When them start feed people and then become dependent, there will be qualifications for you to continue getting this feeding. You'll have to present ID, or maybe you don't have ID wash way. The needs will make it easier for you. You'll have to present something that show that you're from the affected area. Don't worry about it, man. The needs will make it easier for you. The man know in the long run, if you don't comply, you will not be getting this voucher in the long run. The man say, yo, watch out. He might go implement something where seem like a voucher or a cashless system. You hear that part there? Something will represent cash. You don't realize a cashlessness, the man a push at that time agenda. You don't realize that? Jamaica don't get trick again here. Nobody feel like them come for help. Nobody feel like I help them come for help. Them know say, yo, them do it down in Africa. 4 generations down in Africa. Unalive. Because white man go down there and present help. And in the long run, it wasn't help. We are African descendants. Nobody feel like when Africa run them now, where them turn pan the pitney them turn pan we. You understand? That I go fly over enough people head. But remember, we them turn pan, we are test subject right now. Remember, I'm telling you, people no look out on the yard, but I feel like I help. Because the man are telling about my go voucher. And next thing, him say, you can go at some place, go redeem a voucher or redeem whatever. The food we are going to get, I want to know if it's going to be different from everybody else's food. Because it sounds like him say, him are going to load up certain place and you go there, go cash out your voucher or whatever him are going to give or represent cash and you will get food. Listen it again. Because you see, if a different food we get from everybody else, that's not safe. Them can't do anything because they want to get rid of it. So them cannot see it as an opportunity to get rid of it now. If them are giving food, we want the same food that everybody I get. We don't want a special food. We want to go in a place and take up the same food that everybody I get. My son. My son now wait till people only can see from their eye to their nose. But the people more look far out and way out. And see it's a big dictatorship and a big controlling thing. You know, go agree with me and share and repost. Yeah, man, I remember some people last down in our place. I go tell you a place name. They want help. They say food run out. Yeah, the people them from down at Berkshire district in a Westmoreland, Berkshire. Them say, yo, them food run out and them not get nothing. Up to today, them not see prime minister, them not see no minister, them not see nobody. Them a beg help. Them say literally food done. Berkshire district in a Westmoreland. You don't know who can reach them, but share that video so other people can see it. Jamaica, we need help and we have to help one another. Them no business boy with them want the land and the resources. So them have to get rid of it.
So I want to say a big thank you to Chevron from Pro Jamaicans who took the drive from Kingston today to bring me supplies all the way down in Westmoreland so we could go visit some folks in top of Westmoreland who were cut off and can't get any help. And people, it was one of the most dreadful things to see. This lady standing in front of you right now, during the storm, her daughter who was in the hospital died. Her house is destroyed. She has no money to bury her child. She has no house to live in. There are children up here who haven't eaten for 3 days, haven't drunk water for 3 days. People, we all look some help. In any way, shape or form that you can help, either through money or sending supplies, because we need to run more supplies up to these people on top of the hill. You have 30 people living in a 4x6 space. The only space that was left after the hurricane blew everything apart. And because they're so far up in the top of Eastern Spring, no help can get to them. So wait, are you trying to save the baby and this happened to you? Oh my God. What's your name? Manzi. It is one of the saddest things you've ever seen to see 30 or 25 people living in a space the size of your bathroom. I am asking for help. In any way, shape or form you can help. Please, me I beg some help. People, we need some help. Me I beg you, please. In any way, shape or form you can help. Me I reach out for some help. For some people in a left hall on top of Eastern Spring. I am asking for help. In any way, shape or form you can help. Please, me I beg some help.
Alright, so this I found very interesting because this was Ramesh and his team went out to Westmoreland. Remember me telling us that Ramesh Entertainment is out there, boots on the ground, helping a lot of people, right? And doing it in a big way too. So they're one of the people who we encourage people to give to, so that you know that your donations are actually impacting the people who are really in need. But this is yesterday, right? Today, as I'm reading this to you, that was left by Ramesh on Ramesh Entertainment site, today is the 9th. That makes it almost 2 weeks, 1 day short of 2 weeks since the hurricane hit. And it said, yesterday we went out to the wild west. Westmoreland, I'm going to call it wild west, you know. Westmoreland, in my view, needs so much help. Not sure where to start. I went to over 9 districts. Most of them said that it's the first someone coming to them. We went up in some hills and off road. The scene were not good. Broken heart. Road, the scenes were not good. Gave out over 1,200 care package, 10 mattresses, 60 ply, 100 zinc, 5 tent, and I also brought water tank for Petersfield High School. They need so much help up there. This is Ramesh telling us, right? that him just reach up there on November 8th. And actually, I got this message on November 8th, so that means he would have reached up there November 7th. And he's saying 9 districts he went to, and majority of those people told him that it was the first time somebody got to them since the hurricane. So when we're spreading the message that there are people out there who are still stranded, who nobody has gotten to yet, who has not gotten any kind of help, the stories about people having to bury their own dead family members in a them backyard or on them property, and no proper sanitation, and they're going without food and water for 3-4 days at a time, and all these things. It's very real. Very, very real. Alright? Heartbreaking to see the little girl. Jamaica Uncut went to another part of Westmoreland and asked the little girl, go up to the man and say, you can give me some food to eat, please. It's a little picnic. She didn't ask for candy. She didn't ask for toys to play with. The poor little picnic asked for some food to eat, please. Asked when last they ate. They said about 3 days ago or so. So I don't know if y'all want to believe what y'all are hearing out there. The people who are trying to dismiss all of this as something that is not really happening. It is really, really happening for a lot of people. Heads up. Alright everybody, welcome back to SouFLoTV again. It is your host with the most. Listen, there's a lot going on. There's so much going on, and there are so many different things to talk about that still need to be talked about. Right now, there are citizens of Jamaica who are actually filming the process of being asked to present ID if they want to be supplied with aid in a time like this. And that's the first video we played here, where you see the young man said in the video that him go out there already and them turn them back and say you have to have TRN or ID. So he's in his house searching what left of his house to see if him can find any ID or anything. Couldn't find him ID, but he found an old driver's license, so him hope said that'll go work for him. And by the time he went back out there, joined the line, stayed online for an hour and a half, the food ran out and they didn't have enough to give everybody else. So it's another couple of days before they see them again. Immediately after that video was posted, there it was in the Jamaica Gleaner, where the government is saying that this is lies that the people are spreading and no one is demanding ID or TRN to give anybody any aid. With all that said though, the video you also saw of the Prime Minister is very real, where the Prime Minister said this is a system that he's going to work and put together, because we cannot continue like this. We cannot continue like this, as in people volunteering, I guess, and driving into these communities and giving these people aid. So he has to establish something where systematically people can get aid. And that will consist of what he comes up with next. In the process of all that though, over the years we've been telling people that Jamaica is a beautiful place. It is also a cash cow for many corporations and many individuals who own these corporations, right? Or these big businesses, whether it's an all-inclusive hotel or any other type of business that makes lots of money out of Jamaica while exploiting cheap labor. And I also said topographically, geographically well situated, topographically beautiful, they are coming for the land. All I see when I look at Jamaica from an aerial view, if I was a real estate developer, I see where I can put all these high-end living spaces where wealthy people or people with money to invest, then you not even have to be wealthy, just have a whole heap of money, which is foreign dollars, US pounds, which will be more than the average Jamaican will be able to afford. And you can brag that you have your beachfront condo in Jamaica, which you fly out to every couple of months or every week, or in the meantime, you're Airbnb-ing it to others who travel there, and it's paying for itself or whatever. You know how real estate development goes. The problem is a lot of these lands are owned by people who have been on them for centuries. Land handed down from generation after generation after generation, and people are still on them. So what way to get these people off this land so we can develop it? Remember the warning that we got before the hurricane actually hit Jamaica, where they said it was a meteorologist from the United States of America who was following the coverage of Hurricane Melissa heading to Jamaica, and a part of his warning was get all your deeds and your land titles, secure them, because after this hits Jamaica, you might need those to actually prove that this is where your house was, or this is where your piece of land was. Well, a lot of Jamaicans took that for granted, And right now, the way how the place chaka chaka, the way how the place mudslide way and sink underwater and all these other things. In the cleanup process, when them scrape and bulldoze everything and decide to rebuild, it's kind of like writing on a chalkboard. And the chalkboard is full of writing. And then they erase the chalkboard completely to make the chalkboard clean so they can write a new lesson on the chalkboard. You don't remember which part your sentence was on that chalkboard. The problem with Jamaica is a lot of people are without proper paperwork to claim their piece of land. So there we will have another problem. So I bring to you this article that was written in the Jamaica Observer, and it was published November 9th, and it says, "Don't abandon your hurricane-ravaged land," says a lawyer. Here's an attorney sending out to Jamaicans a warning: do not abandon your hurricane-damaged land. I can tell you in a nutshell that I've been telling my audience this from before all this, and I didn't need to be an attorney to tell you this, right? What real estate developers do, and this is not any propaganda or anything to scare anybody. This is just how business goes. You buy low, you sell high. In any business, that's what it is. You buy low, you sell high, you make a profit. So real estate developers are flocking to Jamaica at the moment, even in this disaster, because they know that there will be a cleanup. And then they know that after the cleanup, there will be a rebuilding process. But a lot of Jamaicans who have lost their stuff in this, they won't have enough finances to stay the course and to rebuild. So give them a little something now, and they will relocate to somewhere else. And that land that you pay, I don't know, 2 million Jamaican dollars for right now, which is probably about 17,000 US, that will be a $1.5 million piece of land in the near future. And that is real estate development. Attorney Benjamin Fraser had urged Jamaicans locally and abroad whose homes have been affected by Hurricane Melissa not to abandon your lands. He said, "If I have my land and the building has been destroyed, I still have value in the land, even though the building is not there anymore. And you ought to not abandon the land. Losing the building doesn't mean losing your land. Don't abandon your land. I am stressing this," attorney Benjamin Fraser said. He specializes in property law, in estate and succession planning, and family law as well. He said during a recent appearance on the local talk show podcast Heart to Heart that was hosted by Tyrell Morgan. Fraser, in highlighting the legal definition of land, was at pains to point out that the value of the land is the combination of the bare soil, vegetation, and the buildings thereon, the atmosphere above the land, the potential in the land, the character in the community, and other characteristics. So, it may look so terrible now because there has been this catastrophic and wiped out infrastructure, but I stress to you, don't forget that there is value in the land itself, outside of that building, the attorney said. His comments come against the background of the utter devastation wreaked by Hurricane Melissa, which now holds pride of place as the most extreme storm ever to make landfall in Jamaica. Jamaica has never been hit by a hurricane at a Category 5 before. Hurricanes have developed at Category 5 heading towards Jamaica before, but by the time they landed in Jamaica, they had lessened in category to a 4 and a 3. Some of the most wickedest hurricanes we have ever heard of hit Jamaica before were 3 and a 4. The hurricane, this one came in landfall at Category 5, packing 185 miles per hour wind, and it hit on October 28th near New Hope in Westmoreland was where the actual ground zero touchdown spot was, causing serious flooding across the southern and western belts of the island, pretty much wiping out Jamaica's breadbasket. The system which mauled St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, Montego Bay, and St. James, and Trelawney, with the most impacted areas being St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, left Jamaica after affecting untold damages on infrastructure, vegetation, and definitely lives. The death toll from the ferocious system has climbed to over 30 so far that has been talked about. And in recent times, we found out that over 30 could mean over 40, it could mean over 50, it could mean over 60, because they have an inaccurate death count. It was one MP who got up in Parliament and said he believes, that was Dr. Dayton Campbell, he believes that the number that has been given so far was at the time 29, and he said that has to be inaccurate because in his constituency alone in Westmoreland, they have counted over 25. So there is no way that that could be the accurate number. And he knows of about 8 families who have had to bury their own dead in their own yard because nobody has come by to pick up the dead bodies. Fraser, in the meantime, the attorney, pointed out that the legal or beneficial owners of these lands do not have a general obligation to replace buildings erected on their land or compensate the person who built it if it has been destroyed. You have no legal obligation to build up back something real quick. I am noting, he said, that individuals who insured property are in a significantly better position to recover quickly as insurance covers the cost of repairs and rebuilding efforts, he said. Who's without insurance? Those without insurance, they will have options available to them eventually, but those who were insured, they will recover faster, which is something else we spoke about in our morning live on SouFLoTV, which I'm encouraging everybody to join as we go live in the morning. I specifically said to my audience that majority of Jamaicans, there is no mandatory rule in Jamaica that says if you own property, you must insure it. In the state of Florida in the United States of America, where I spend most of my days, it is mandatory for you to have home insurance if you have a house. It is mandatory for you to have property insurance if you have property. It is mandatory for you to even get rental property insurance if you rent an apartment. In Jamaica, not so is the case. And given how our culture and our way of life has been structured, it's usually like grandma did own the house and grandpa them did own the house and they both passed away and the house is there, and then next of kin take over the house, and then you build on a little bit more piece on it and then pass it to somebody else and then build on a little bit more piece on it, and before you know it, the house is looking bigger and nicer and new generation. And that's how it is. And new generation just keeps taking over and building further on top of that with no insurance. So when a structure is blown away suddenly, like what happened in Melissa, we're not just looking at people who have money and insurance and put up this grandiose house and then suddenly a hurricane blow it down and insurance is going to replace it. What we're actually looking at is generations accumulated that has been blown away in one instance. And that can't be brought back just overnight. Furthermore, there is no insurance to recover, to help them to recover after this process takes place. So those with insurance, they're going to do a little bit better off. Those without insurance, well, they are going to take longer to rebuild. But this attorney wants you to know that there is no legal obligation for you to hurry up and build something back on the land, else the government can take it from you. Nobody can say to you, you have to build back a house on that piece of land now, or else we're going to have to take it, right? So keep that in mind. Now, to the best of my knowledge, the areas that have been most devastated, many of the people there don't have insurance. So, what do they do? This is the attorney speaking. This is not my words. SouFLoTV, I am giving this message to you. He said, to the best of my knowledge, the areas that have been most affected, many of the people there don't have insurance. So, what do they do? It's going to require a lot of help, he said. That's the truth. Because without insurance, they would have to fund the reconstructions themselves. Otherwise, the attorney said that individuals who have been displaced and who are without insurance, they can take several steps to protect their ownership until they are able to rebuild again. Don't sell your land. Don't abandon your land. Even if you have lost your home, you still have the land. Continue to pay the property taxes where possible. Even if you can't get to the structure of the house, I would encourage you to repair or rebuild the fencing around your land. Even if you can't put back up the property, put a fence around it. I don't know, you can do wood, board, anything to make a fence around it, mark off your piece of land and continue to pay your property taxes. And it needs not to be any fancy, elaborate fencing. It could be barbed wire and wooden sticks that you cut off of a tree. It does not need to be fancy. It does not need to be expensive. This needs to go out to all the people them right now. Because trust me, they are on the ground and they're coming for the land. Fraser said, it's one thing to lose the building, but you could lose your legal rights to the property if you abandon it. If you don't demonstrate actions of possession over the land, enough years could pass. In a worst case scenario where you become dispossessed of your property or interest in the property. 12 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, you might wake up and hear say, listen, you let too much time pass. We didn't know that somebody even owned that piece of land. Other people around here built up back for them stuff already. Where were you? Right? And you can't just run back in and say, yes, man, but the hurricane did wash we out and we did have to go somewhere else. They're going to say, were you still paying your property taxes on the piece of land? If the answer is no, then somebody else might have been doing so. And in a short sale, they might have acquired your land. We want people to avoid that situation where there are all sorts of adverse possession claims and fighting about where their property is and who had control of their property. He said that this is even so amid uncertainty over whether seaside settlements will be reconstructed in the same areas they are currently. We don't know if, for example, coastal towns will be rebuilt where they are now. We have seen in countries like Belize, where the capital of Belize was decimated by a hurricane, and the government took a policy decision to relocate it inland, change where the whole capital was altogether. We have been in Pacific countries where cyclones and floodings have damaged countries substantially, And those governments have decided not to rebuild in those areas. I'm not trying to jump the gun here. I am just speaking broadly. Even if the government decides that they're not going to rebuild at that location, the land is still yours, and we want you to protect it, he said. Fraser said, in the interim, property owners should also check on their pegs or repair the boundaries of their properties. Even if you can't afford to build back the house or the structure that was on it before, check on the pegs and repair the boundaries to your properties. In many situations, people use trees and they use other objects as landmarks. And those landmarks might have also been lost in this Melissa Category 5 catastrophe that just took place. The extent of the devastation was so great that I saw graves being displaced. Granny grave washed away, gone. So again, check on those pegs. And at a time where your family can come together to afford it, engage the services of a commissioned land surveyor if those pegs have been misplaced or if the landmarks that you normally use to demarcate your property, they're no longer there. Let's try to work out our issues in a forward-thinking way, because issues around ownership and boundaries may arise in the future as a result of this hurricane and communities that have been displaced. Now, for an attorney like this to be telling us this, I go back to when the warning from the United States of America meteorologist, where he said before the hurricane hit us that make sure you have your deeds, your land title, and I think he also said take a picture of it as well, your land space and all that, because you might have to come back to say to somebody, this is mine and this is where my property was. All of us was like, oh, what kind of hurricane I go hit we now? Because if he's telling us to get ready with all that, that means there's going to be a wipeout. Lord of mercy. So he said, right? And now, 2 weeks after, look at where we're at. So as for individuals who are engaged in transactions to purchase ahead of the weather event, the attorney had this to say as well. He said that these are the reasons we encourage you not to venture into transactions concerning the sale or purchase of land without legal representation. Anything can happen in that window space. If you're purchasing by cash in Jamaica, it's usually 60 to 90 days. And if you're purchasing by mortgage, it's usually 90 to 120 days. Those 3 or 4 months, a lot of stuff can happen, and it's unsafe if you venture into these transactions, which involve you spending oftentimes millions of dollars without legal support. Fraser also urged individuals whose titles were destroyed by the flood rains from Melissa to take steps to get a replacement for your titles. Whole heap of people stuff wash away. People can't find them ID, TRN, all kind of something. Your whole wallet gone, travel documents gone, everything gone. A lot of people who had these documents also can't find them right now, right? So he's urging individuals to take steps to get replacements. Hard to say when the people are still displaced. Hard to say when you are there thinking, where do I sleep tonight because my house completely blown away and we're having a rainstorm tonight. How do I stay dry throughout the night? I haven't eaten in 3 days. The water here is stagnant and sewage is in the water and everything is contaminated. We barely have clean drinking water up here. Every 3 days or so, we get some food from somebody, and it's not enough to even last to another day. it's hard to think about where is my land title, where do I go to get a replacement, and all these other things, right, in that process. So for those of you with sense, you can see who it benefits to keep the people in a destabilized position as they are now. Because guess what? The world is moving ahead. These people who are affected and are not getting any help, they're the ones who are standing still. We have a title system here where there is a certificate of title that is maintained at the title's office, and you get what is called an original duplicate. I'm going to say that again. We have a title system in Jamaica where there is a certificate of title that is maintained at the title's office, and you get what is called a original duplicate. As a result of the flooding and the damage, it's suspected that many documents have been lost, including titles. At some point, it will become necessary to replace that lost, damaged, or destroyed title, and there is a particular process by which to do that. And I would urge you at the time where you have the capacity to do so to address it. Don't just allow it to sit there forever. Nobody sit down there and talk about why the hurricane did come in and it washed away everything and it washed away all my land title. Don't do that. Because a title is a very important piece of document that confirms your ownership of your land. Even if you don't have your original duplicate, there's always a title that mirrors exactly what you would have on the title that you have in hand. But you need to get that one replaced. That's a warning from the attorney as well. Now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness told Parliament last Tuesday that more than 116,000 of the 428,000 buildings in the database of the National Spatial Data Management Branch sustained severe damage during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. The Prime Minister said that the damage is concentrated in the Westmoreland area, the St. Elizabeth area, and Manchester area, according to satellite data and drone verification. Melissa has caused extensive damage to the nation's housing stock, particularly in the western parishes. Leveraging our national geospatial intelligence capacity, the government has, for the first time in our history, executed a rapid, high-resolution national housing damage assessment. These findings are now guiding targeted relief and reconstruction planning across affected communities, Andrew Holness said. That's how him say. We done see already that a lot of people aren't getting any help or barely getting any help to this day. November 9th, I remember from October, Hurricane Melissa passed through, the 28th. November 9th, we still have 27 marooned communities in the areas that were most affected. In the meantime, preliminary estimates of the damage that were caused by the hurricane has been put between 6 to 7 billion US dollars, or rather an astounding 1 trillion Jamaican dollars. And this has ripped out a significant 32% of Jamaica's gross domestic product for fiscal year 2024 to 2025, the government has indicated. They have said Jamaica simply don't have the money right now to recover as quickly as we would think. There is a rush to get back to normal, to get back to business, to get some money in, because we're going to need the money in order to rebuild. So, don't abandon your hurricane-ravaged land. This is a warning from an attorney, Benjamin Fraser, and this is his expertise. This are not SouFLoTV words again. He specializes in property law, in real estate, in estate and succession planning, and in family law as well. This is his expertise. All right? Leave your comments in the comment section below. You see how long we talk about them coming for the land? You see how all the things that this attorney is saying now that we have said already leading up to this, we're only repeating now, and it's coming from the experts. I'll catch you on the next video. Be safe out there. And remember, look under the video, pinned as the first comment, our choice of where we want you to send donations to. Give generously. Throughout the video, pieces of videos that we will play or have played, you will see that we also played 876 number from Jamaica Uncut, who are on the ground and going into the Westmoreland area, into the areas where communities are still marooned. You can give to them as well as to the Angel and her foundation as well, because she has taken up the task as well to get to these people who the government continues to claim are marooned and no one can get to. It's us that have to continue to help us. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.